This podcast may contain views and opinions which are those of the hosts and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any local agency, organization, union, employee, or company, including the podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Fun.
Fun.
Savas wants to make some memes over there. Hey, Savas, how you doing? Welcome back to the show.
Not even a hello? Or
Not
anything,
even a hello? Fuck us, huh?
What time is it?
Oh, my God, dude.
It's late. Time to sleep.
Savas is ready to make some memes.
Yeah, we're recording this on a different day.
Me and George
in the evening.
are here ready to get to work.
Yeah.
All right? You're working, we're working. Right, Savas? Let's do it.
He's so not into this right now.
Yeah. It's all good. We're here. We're ready. We got some not so fun stuff to talk about.
Yeah, not fun stuff.
But it's a reality. Let's we have
100%.
the language in the contract for a reason. But we'll rip the Band-Aid off and we'll go jump right into it. So what are we here to talk about today, George?
We're talking about layoffs for UPS.
Yeah. So I know everyone's seen it in the media, in social media. It's kind of everywhere.
It's everywhere,
right? Layoffs at UPS. Now, what are we expecting? What? And in all honesty, no one really knows.
We're not entirely sure.
We don't have layoffs yet here in the Southwest. Not here in 952 as of yet. And it doesn't look like we're going to have all that many, at least for 952.
Maybe not, no.
I don't know for sure about the rest of the Southwest, but I know the chair, Victor Mineros, Carla Schumann, Eric Jimenez are all working in coordination to, protect jobs, number one, to make sure that if we do have layoffs that those, they're abiding by the contract. And, we did want to go over a little contract language today,
Yeah, we
right?
definitely wanted to go over the contract language. Maybe get, as many members informed as possible so they kind of know where they stand.
Yeah. So for those of you guys that don't know, there's layoff language for you in the Southwest. I believe it's going to be in your rider, your language for layoffs. So it looks like here for the Southwest, we have the Southwest package rider and the Southwest sort rider. In the package rider, it's section 26 of that, and in the sort rider, section 27. So that's where you're going to find your layoff language and what happens when there's layoffs. George, you want to kind of go through a little bit of that? So what happens when we have layoffs for drivers?
We have layoffs for drivers. So basically, they're going to cut all of the lower seniority RPCDs. Those drivers will go back to the building, and then they have one of three options, right? They get to choose. They can work part-time, like one shift.
Yes, one shift.
Then they can do two shifts to get their 8.
Double shift.
Or they can select a hard layoff.
Hard layoff and collect unemployment.
And then collect unemployment and all.
Do that kind of
They
stuff.
will not receive health care benefits for that, though, right?
Yes. So if you take a shift, you can still get your benefits, your health care. And if you take the 2 shifts, you still qualify for full-time benefits. And I would assume that means all contributions, because you're still getting your 8 hours.
You're still getting your 8 hours.
Still, as if you take the one shift, it's a little different. But you still get your health care. If you take the hard layoff, you file for unemployment, and then you would probably look into getting COBRA or even see if Covered California here in California would cover you. The rest of the Southwest, I know you guys don't have that. Maybe Medi-Cal or, that's California as well. So it's just something to look into in your area as far as health care coverage, but you have the option to take the shifts and keep your benefits. But that being said, you don't get to keep your driver rate, correct, Savas?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct, John.
Just checking. I don't know. I wasn't sure. Silas. But yes, your pay rate goes to what it would be in the hub if per your seniority. So, whatever your hub rate would have been, that's what it goes back to.
Yeah.
So I know it's a scary thing, but we do have the language, at least to protect us somewhat. Businesses fluctuate. Salas has been through layoffs before. George and myself, during that time, were with the company. I don't believe I was driving.
We're driving at the time. Yeah.
But 2008, we had layoffs.
Yeah.
When the economy went to
When
shit.
the economy fucking.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's something that we wanted to get on and discuss and, hopefully kind of assuage some fears. It doesn't look like we're going to have a shit ton of layoffs.
I don't think so.
It doesn't really look that way. Now, I don't think we can ever make any promises. No. We don't know what the economy is going to do, what volume is going to do. And all these things are, predicated on that. It's all, hey, if volume dips and the company's not doing great, then, we have layoffs. It does happen. We got some protection.
Yeah, there's some protection there.
And then, as you utilize this language, we do have to understand for the younger guys, I know we have part-timers that watch as well. If you are very low seniority part-timer, they are really the ones that take the brunt of a lot of this. So, we would displace those people as we go in, as drivers, full-timers go to use that layoff language, they would displace some of the lower senior hub workers.
I mean, that was my biggest concern is, displacing the part-timers with really low seniority. How does that work for them? Because, I mean, will they also be, laid off? Or I don't think they can terminate them, right? So it's like...
Well, they would be laid off, like the hard layoff.
That's a hard layoff specifically.
If they're bottom of the barrel part-timers, they would take a hard layoff and have to file for unemployment. So there actually is another benefit, at least here in California. So one of the things that we didn't mention was if you take the one shift or the two shift, if that's the option that you choose, you would be able to file for unemployment even if you're still working for the wages that you're losing,
yes,
quote unquote. So if you were used to making X amount and now you're making this because of the lower wages, because of the layoff, then you can file for those wages that
were lost.
And I don't know that they pay all of them, but I know they pay some of it. So that's a benefit. I know that not when I was laid off, but the same type of deal when I was on disability, I worked 2 jobs forever. When I went on disability, I was still able to work one of my jobs because it was an office job, and I would file unemployment for disability for that time. For that second job for UPS. Yeah. So I would still get paid, even though I was working a full-time job, I would still get paid the excess of what I would make at UPS. So, I mean, it was pretty cool. That's kind of one of the benefits that we have here in California. So at least for those drivers that are worried, you can still file for unemployment even though you're working and employed for the wages you're losing.
Sabas, anything?
I'm part of the audience right now. I'm listening.
Jesus Christ.
Are you at home now?
My mind is at home right now.
Okay. Making memes.
Hey,
tell
your mind to make me a sandwich.
Yeah. This is a lot of information. Like all week, the last few weeks, we've been approached by a lot of members about this. A lot of concerns. Rightfully so. I get it. But at the end of the day, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what's going to happen. Like John stated, I've gone through this before. And I think it goes back to, prepare for the worst and hope for the best, but it's all going to depend on the volume and what comes in. And I know a lot of you have approached us and think we have the answers. We cannot tell the future. We don't know. That's just the honest truth. So
Yeah, I wish were able to tell everybody, oh yeah, we're gonna have X amount of layoffs, or we're not gonna have any.
right.
You know, like I said, as it looks right now, we're not really looking like we're gonna have a lot here in 952, or even for the Southwest. I know we're gonna have some. You know, for the Southwest,
Yeah, there's gonna be some for sure.
but it doesn't look like a whole lot now. You know, when you look at that, and we have to kind of personalize it, when you look at that as like you're the individual that's going to get laid off, whether it's 1 or fucking 200, you know, if you're getting laid off, you're feeling it. You know, you're
100%.
worried, you're scared, and we totally understand that.
100%.
This is something that we never want to see, but you know, the economy isn't doing that great, and you know, there are a lot of challenges. I will say, these are the times when you need to consider ordering from Amazon. Your family, telling your family, hey, you guys shouldn't be ordering from Amazon. Amazon is a big reason that our volume is down, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
They are starting to deliver a lot of their own stuff with their own trucks. And we are, you know, the Teamsters are fighting that on their own front, on another front. But these are part of the issues, you know, the big issues.
Oh, 100%.
We have technology coming. We have, you know, Amazon. Those are really the big fronts in 2024 as far as for the Teamsters. And, you know, we're going to be fighting, but we got to spend our dollars where they're most important. If you can pick shipping and you can pay an extra $5 or whatever, and I know we don't like to do that. You have free shipping through Amazon, or you can pay $10 to have it delivered through UPS. I mean, click the fucking UPS button, guys. Like, I mean, you're a Teamster.
Well, I agree. Like, if you're union and you're, I get it that like Amazon is cheaper, but I mean, at what cost? They don't pay their employees well. They don't treat their employees well. They lay employees off all the time. I mean, last year, didn't they lay off in like one quarter? They laid off like 10,000 employees. Like, I mean, do you want to support a company that just is like, hey, we make billions of dollars a year, but we're going to treat our employees like shit, and then we'll just lay off 10,000 just because? I mean, is that the company you want to support? So it's like, no. It's like, no. Take your money, spend it where, you know, where they actually give a shit about their employees, you know? Spend it where the union is.
Agreed.
Yes.
I know Sawas is the same way. He's not saying much, but I know he taught his kids not to shop at Walmart.
They're the devil.
You know, there's a new devil in town, right? I mean, it's called Amazon. It is what it is. Until we can get them organized and you know, getting there to pay their people well and to.
Where's Gary? He needs to go organize.
Yeah, we need Gary. Silver, where are you guys at? Shout out to you guys. But that being said, you know, we don't have a crystal ball, like Sawa said. We wish we knew all the answers. We can only go by what we have, you know, in the language we have. We wanted to make sure to get on here and just give you just some information. Try to ease your worries a little bit. Now, I know it's not going to do it for everybody because unsurety is never fun.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
But that being said, we just we're here and hoping that you guys will be informed at the very least. You know, if you guys do get laid off, especially here in California, here in the Southwest, that you're informed. You know, you have that language. You can keep your benefits. You work part-time. You file that unemployment, and then you go from there.
Yeah.
And check with your local. I know our local 952, we do food giveaways, and we have connections with the food pantries and whatnot, so we can help out with that kind of stuff. If it's tight, we get it.
If it's tight, we get it. You got to live. I mean, if you need to live, like, just check your local.
Stay at Sabas's house.
You're about to go to sleep anyways. Doesn't matter.
I think you guys would enjoy my mother-in-law too much.
Oh, is she over there right now?
No, George. It's a joke.
Okay.
It's a joke, guys.
Okay.
I would say because of the layoffs is where we need to be really diligent and policing the contract. Supervisors working
Supervisor working is a huge one.
in these times, we cannot allow the company to have any slack in the sense of, I mean, we always police the contract, but if you see a soup working,
1 minute, 2 minutes,
you
doesn't
file
fucking matter.
for that. One of the things I wanted to touch on right now, what's going on too, is they're cracking down on uniforms. They're cracking down on attendance. I mean, they're really getting very ticky-tack, in my opinion. This is one of the flavors that we've always experienced.
Yeah.
So just, you know, dot your I's, cross your T's.
Cross the T's and dot the lowercase j's.
I've seen some people just recently get written up for, I mean, just ridiculous stuff. So wear your socks if you have them. You know, make sure
Not
you're wearing
order
the
'em.
proper sweater, jacket.
Yeah.
Just don't give them a reason for them.
Proper safety shoes if you guys are
all of
working in the
that
hub.
stuff. You know,
Yeah.
get there on time. I know a lot of the drivers at a utility. It's a little different for you guys. Sometimes you come in, you don't know what you're doing. But make sure if you are clocking in prior to that board start time that you go back either in the morning at the end of the day and have them adjust that time.
Make sure you're not late.
Yeah, you don't want to see an L in front of that WRR the next day.
Correct.
So I would just really make sure that you're clocking in on time, your uniforms and all that kind of stuff, because they're being
Yeah.
ticky-tack right now.
And we're not supervisors. We're not here to,
Yeah.
tell you what to do. But at the end of the day, these are some of the things that happen during these times. Everything kind of
Yeah.
tightens up, and the company wants to fire people and get rid of people, blah blah blah. So we got to make sure that we're on our P's and Q's.
They always do it at the beginning of the beginning
Especially
of every
contract here.
first quarter. Always.
But also one of the things that we didn't touch on, but we probably should address is 9.5.
Yeah, 9.5.
9.5 language. This kind of stuff, filing 9.5 helps with layoffs, guys. It does. It helps. It keeps. Now, I get it. If you like 14 hours, I understand. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure everyone eats. We want to, help our brothers and sisters next to us. Filing 9.5 is not a bad thing. It's not. And I get it for the guys that I liked working a lot of hours. I did. And I didn't file 9.5. Now, granted, while I was a driver, I don't think we had layoffs. But that being said, it helps. It definitely helps when they're putting the screws to us like this, when there's not a lot of work. Keeps everybody kind of even keel. It keeps them from building routes, because a lot of the time what happens, I don't even know if everyone understands, but IE will tell them they're planning, right? IE planning, they'll tell them, hey, you can only run X amount of routes.
Yep.
So they either lay people off or send a bunch of people home, and then they pile on the other routes, right? They got to put the work somewhere.
The work has to go
So
someplace.
if you file 9.5, it keeps them from piling you up when they're trying to cut routes.
So then they have to put routes in instead of cutting them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it helps. Plus, it helps you. You kind of know.
In an ideal world, technically, everybody should be on 9.5,
Yeah.
because it spreads the work out and it puts more routes in. Keeps you in at a normal time.
When there's plenty of work to go around, believe me. When the work's there and we're struggling and get your overtime for sure. But times like this get a little tight. We want to definitely look out for each other, make sure we're all. And if you do end up getting that extra work, utilize that 9.5 language. Now you're getting paid triple time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing. So that being said, I don't think we're going to ramble on too much. I know today was a shorter show, but we did want to get this information out to you guys about the layoffs. We are still out here, grinding away. Hopefully it's not much. Maybe this will just be much ado about nothing. But just in case, remember that language, Section 26 in the Southwest Package Rider, Section 27 in the Sort Rider. You can look up your own, read the layoff language for yourself. Like I said, you have those three options. One of the things that we didn't cover and we totally forgot is the new language. So I know a lot of you guys don't have the new language, but if you go to section 26 and 27 within the package and sort writer on your app, on the Teamsters app, right? You go there and it'll show the new language. Now, the new language says that, you pick one of those three options, the hard layoff, the 1 shift, or the 2 shifts. And before, you couldn't change them. You couldn't change your option.
Yeah.
You would pick one and that would be it. Now, after 4 weeks, so if you're on layoff for 4 consecutive weeks, you can change your option. So say you're doing 2 shifts and you want to go to 1, or you're on the hard layoff and you want to go to 2 shifts or whatever. You put that in writing and you present that to the company, give it to your manager, and let them know, hey, and a week later you can switch that. So at 4 weeks, you can do that. And it's only a one-time change. So you can't be flip-flopping back and forth. It's just a one-time change for the duration of the layoff. So
I think there was a discussion and negotiations about that actual form being presented. We should see if we can get our hands on that.
yes, so there was something about making that form uniform.
Right.
Like official, like one uniform.
Yes, one uniform form. Because they did say, well, what do you got to do? Just write it on a sheet of paper and give it to your manager?
Right.
So there was some
There should be
some
some type
talks.
of legal document. Right?
They did have, in some areas, I don't know if you remember in negotiations, in some areas they did have a uniform one that they use, like an official document that you literally check one of the options, sign it, and give it to your manager. We'll definitely look into that. So if you see myself or Savas in the building, you see your business agent, those are supposed to be available. Or if not, have them look into it. It's part of our job, so we can look into that kind of stuff.
Okay.
We'll go from there.
Maybe we can get our hands on one so I could put one up.
Yeah, we'll look at it. But like I said, thank you guys for tuning in every week. Please check us out on Instagram. We're actually doing more stuff on Instagram.
Starting to. Yes.
Starting. We're not great at it, but we're starting to
good at
put
it.
stuff on Instagram. We're trying to keep some content flowing during the week when you can only you only listen to us on Fridays. But we're trying to keep some entertainment for you guys.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you guys. Check us out, OCST.952 on Instagram.
Email OCST.000 Gmail. And, put everything in. Anything you want in there. Questions about the layoffs, questions about any other issues in the contract, or just, hell, if you just want to shoot the shit with us, hit us up.
Should give a shout out to the brother that sent us a comment. I believe he was out in the East Coast, 104. Not 104, the local, but out. Maybe look at it and then we can.
What's it on?
It was a comment on
Instagram?
No, on YouTube. The one that said Duck Savas.
Oh.
He was out in Jersey or
Duck Savas?
Yeah, it was in
yeah,
Jersey.
saying fuck.
It auto-corrected his phone, huh?
Yeah, it did. It did.
You know what I'm talking about, John?
Yeah, I saw it. I read it.
Give him a shout out.
It came very personal, apparently.
Somebody replied to him.
Yeah?
One of you two replied to him.
I don't remember that.
Maybe it was John.
I don't remember. Or maybe I did. Which episode was it on?
Duck Savas?
I think the one with Victor.
Before we close it out, we do want to give a shout out. And hey, if you guys leave us a comment, like we said, on Instagram or on the show, especially on YouTube. If you guys leave us a comment on YouTube, we'll give you a shout out. We have one here from ATZ09. Says, Happy New Year's, boys. Watching from local 177, New Jersey.
Ooh.
Duck Savas and his
Jersey.
Bud Lights. Cheers. Cheers to many more in 2024. So cheers to you, brother. We appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate all of you guys out there in YouTube and Spotify world. Please tune in every week. And
Please.
I guess we'll see you next week.
That's it.